Hello, my crafty friends. Well, today I have some fun little window card ideas to share with you, and you can use these window card ideas with any supplies you have on hand. Hi, it's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. In this episode of Stamptastic TV, I have two different window cards to share, which feature a fun new stamp set from Stampin Up. Now, the stamp set is called Zany Zoo, and it has a variety of fun little images in it that you can use with this window card idea or to create any other cards. Now, you can also get this stamp set in a bundle, which would include all of these dies. So for the cards I'm sharing today, I'm going to be using a variety of different dies from this bundle to create kind of a theater style window card. All right, so let's get started and I'll show you how to make these adorable little cards. Okay, so here is the card we are going to make today. So I'm going to show you the basic design for creating this window card, and then you can really put in your window any of the Zany Zoo characters or any other images that you happen to have on hand. So first, let's talk about how to create the base of the card. So this is going to be a top folding card. So I have a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of petal pink cardstock. So this is what I'm going to be using for the base of my card. So I'm going to start out by just scoring this piece in half. So I put the 11 inch side at the top, and I'm just going to score it at 5 1/2 inches. So this just creates a top folding card. So I'm going to open this up, and we're going to start by cutting off 1 1/4 inches. So 1 1/4 inches, we'll cut that off on the bottom. And you're going to save this piece. So we'll set that aside. And then we're going to put this back in our paper trimmer, and I'm going to line up the score line, that 5 1/2 inch score line. I'm going to line that up on the 1 1/4 inch mark. So here's 1 1/4, and I'm just going to kind of follow that line down here. And I'm just going to cut this off. So basically you have a 1 1/4 inch section on the top. So here's our score line. And then you have a 1 1/4 inch section for the bottom. And in the middle, we are going to add a little window sheet. And that's how we will create our window card. Now, this other piece that we cut off from the center of our card base, we can just use that to create some of the fun little die cut shapes that we're going to use on the card. Okay, so now that you have the card base created and you have your extra little piece that's going to go on the bottom here, we're going to use a window sheet to kind of fill in the center section of the card. So this is just a 4 1/4 by 4 inch piece of one of the window sheets. So it's kind of like transparency paper. And we're going to add that to our card front here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some tear and tape right across the top here. So I'm adding it to the lower section of the top flap. And then I'm also going to add it to this piece that is going to go on the bottom. So I like to use the tear and tape because I'm using the window sheet. That way the glue doesn't kind of ooze through the window sheet. So let's just take off this double face tape here. And I'm going to adhere this window sheet to the top. And don't worry that the glue is showing through because you won't be able to see it when we're done. So we'll add that piece across the top. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. We'll just peel off this double-sided tape. And you're going to line up, I'm going to just turn this upside down so that I can see it better. But you're going to line up your bottom piece here with the bottom of the card on the inside. So you can see the inside of the card. I'm just lining up this little 1 1/4 inch piece with the bottom of the inside of the card. And then we'll just hold that down and we'll push down our window sheet. So this is what creates your card front. So you can see you have this window sheet in between these two pieces of cardstock. So now we can go ahead and decorate it, and then we can cover up all these little glue marks. So the next thing I did is just cut some of the designer paper. This is the Zoo Crew designer paper. And so I have a couple different pieces here. I have some pieces, 2 pieces that are 1 1/4 by 4 1/4 inches. And then I have 2 additional pieces, which are 1 by 4 1/4 inches. So we don't need full pieces for the top because I'm going to add a fun little curtain across this card. So I'm going to just adhere these little pieces first. So we'll add some glue and adhere this one to the top. And I just ran it all the way across the card front. And then we'll add the other piece, the larger piece. So this is 1 1/4. We'll add this to the bottom. So that's what that looks like. And then I just recreated everything on the inside of the card too. So let's turn this around. So I'm taking that 1 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch piece, and I'm also adding it to the inside of the card. So this goes on the bottom. Then the 1 by 4 1/4 inch piece is just going to go up here on the top. So the inside and the outside are an exact replica of each other. All right, so the next thing I did is I cut out some of the little curtains from a piece of petal pink cardstock. And then in the die set, there are these little tie backs for the curtain. They're very tiny, but they do add a lot to the card. So I'm going to adhere them right across the center of this curtain. So you want to create 2 sets of curtains, and you want to decorate them the same way. So we're going to add these little pieces on here. And again, we're going to use 1 set for the outside and 1 set for the inside. All right, so once you have the little tie backs glued on there, then you can just snip off the extra on the flat side of the curtain. All right, so now we can go ahead and adhere these to our card. And I just lined them up on the edge of the card and adhered them straight down to the window. And then the other one goes on the other side. All right, so that's what the curtains look like on the outside. And then you just open up your card and you just adhere the other ones on the inside. So this will just kind of cover up all the glue marks and everything that shows through to the inside of the card. So that's why I just duplicate everything. All right, so that's the inside so far. Okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to cut a 4 1/4 by 1 1/2 inch piece of black cardstock. And then I just used one of the scalloped dies from this particular bundle to create this fun little scallop here. And this, I just added some dimensionals to the back. And this is going to go right over the top of the curtains here. And it's just going to finish it off nicely. See how cute that looks? And then you just open up the inside of the card and you add your piece on the inside. So for this one, I just created the exact same scallop. And I'm just going to adhere this flat down to the inside of the card. And so that will cover up the scallop that kind of shows through your window. So again, you're just duplicating what you're creating on the front of the card. You're just duplicating that on the inside. All right, so that's what our curtain looks like so far. And then I added a couple little pieces of black cardstock on the bottom here. So this is just a 1/4 inch by 4 1/4 inches. And so this just finishes off the bottom where the curtains are here. And so we'll just add that across. So it kind of gives it, you know, the look of a little stage. And of course, we're going to do the same thing on the inside. So it's a 1/4 inch by 4 1/4 inches. And this is going to go on the inside, and that will finish it off on the inside. So now you've created your little stage with the little window. So now you can open up your card, and you are going to add a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of white cardstock on the inside of the card. So we'll just scoot that right on the inside. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is take a piece of the same designer paper that you're using and cut a 3/4 by 4-inch piece. So this is going to go right on the bottom here. And then you're going to add a 1/4 inch piece of black cardstock. So this is just a 1/4 inch by 4 inches, and that's just going to go on top. So this will serve to just kind of decorate the inside of your card, but it'll also help you determine the placement of your little characters. So for example, we're using this cute little hippo, and I cut this hippo out of one of the pieces of pattern paper from the Zoo Crew Designer Series paper pack. So when we lay this down on the card, you can see I'm putting it just above this little black piece here, and she should show through just where I want her. And then I'm going to also add a little greeting, which is going to be, she's going to be holding this little happy birthday greeting. So I want to kind of line this up so that it's in the middle of that curtain. So that looks pretty good. So we're just going to hold this here, and then we're going to add some glue to our little hippo. And this is going to go right about here. So we'll adhere that down. And then we'll add some glue to our little greeting. So I just stamped this greeting, did some heat embossing on some black cardstock, and then I just cut it out with the stylish shapes dies. And then we can close our card, and we have our cute little theater scene. So isn't that adorable? So happy birthday to you. That's what it looks like on the inside. You do have a little bit of room for writing up here. So if you wanted to write a quick little birthday note or sign your name, you do have some space to do that. So the last thing I did with this card is I just added a couple of little flowers that I cut from some blue and pink cardstock. So I'm just adding a dimensional to each of these flowers, and then we will just kind of pop them up here. And then to fill in that spot, because it's a little sticky with the dimensional in there, I just added a little rhinestone in there just to fill in the center of the flower. Okay, so that's it. How adorable, isn't it? And you have a finished, theater scene on the inside of the card. Of course, you have the exact same scene on the outside. So super cute. I had a lot of fun with this. And of course, you don't have to just create it in one style. You can use a variety of different colors. So for this one, I just used a different image from the Zany Zoo set, or from the Zoo Crew Designer Series paper. And this particular image, there is a die that cuts this image out of the designer paper. So that one I cut out by hand. This one I used the die to create it, but the concept is the same. You can see this is how the inside looks for this particular card. So lots of fun ways that you can use this window card design in your card making. Okay, so there you go. Now you have 2 different card ideas featuring the Zany Zoo stamp set from Stampin' Up. But keep in mind that you can use this window card idea with any supplies that you have on hand. Just get creative with it. And if you enjoyed these card ideas, feel free to download the printable tutorial. You can find the link in the description below this video. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your friends. And leave me a comment below to let me know what you enjoyed most about the video and the cards shared here today. Have a fun and creative day, my friends. Take care.